There you go. All right. Here we go, guys. Get ready. All right, everybody. Today is March 1st, 2017. We are 2 days from the release of the Switch. This is episode 67 of Run, Jump, Stomp. I am joined, of course, by my co-host, Zap. How's it going, Zap?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, not bad. I'll say not bad this evening. For one of them days.
For those of you who are wondering who's this person on the podcast with Zap, that's me. It's Bill. I'm always here. It's just I sound way different because I'm sick. But this week, we are going to be talking about last words about the Switch before it comes out,
A right to repair.
Twitch drops, and Twitch games.
Microsoft opens up.
Netflix for games.
Zelda Breath of the Pirate. Oh, what I did there.
And those stories and more on this episode of Run, Jump, Stomp. Stick around. All right, there we go. I can't hit the button. I kept hitting the wrong button, Zap. All right, let's go ahead and kick this tire. So, the Switch comes out in 2 days.
Does it?
I know that you said that you had a couple of things that you wanted to talk about it on the podcast today. What were those things?
I say trusted. A media outlet called The No. Do you watch a lot of those stuff?
I don't have a problem with them. I think they give out good information. I just don't like scripted stuff, and it's
No.
very scripted, so I tend not to watch it.
Yeah, I'm the same. But again, their information is. I think their information is as credible as anyone's. If that makes sense. You kind of got to be a bit like, well, okay. But they've come out with some battery tests and things like that, and all signs are positive from my initial reaction earlier in the month. Put it like this, so positive. My wife saw a trailer a day or two ago, and yeah, we may be owning the Switch sooner than I thought.
Oh, nice. Did she see it and she was like, "Ooh, what is that, honey?
Yeah,
Should we get
yeah.
that?"
She saw the 1-2 Switch game, and she thought that looked really cool to play with the kids and the family, and
And with shots.
you know, a drunken 1-2 Switch games can be hilarious. But as this week's gone on, I've kind of kept my eye on the Switch, and the stuff that they're announcing for it is unbelievable. And I'm kind of, I'm not on the hype train, because if I was on the hype train, I'd be getting one on Friday. I'm still going to wait to see what your thoughts are on it. I have a feeling it'll be like 90% love it and 10% wish Nintendo did something different.
That's always what Nintendo. I call that pulling a Nintendo.
Pulling a Nintendo, okay. So, and I'm very much like that with my 2DS. I love, now that I've spent some more time with it, I love what it does, and I think the handheld market should always be down to Nintendo, because they make a good handheld. But their battery life on it is awful. That's on the 2DS. I don't know about the 3DS XL or any of the other ones out there, but that's on the 2DS. And that kind of stuff. The cartridge system, I mean, people who listen to the podcast know when we spoke about the cartridges, I was a bit like, nah, that's going backwards. You know, cartridge system is definitely a great way to go. You can fit a lot on these cartridges. I think from what I've seen and media outlets of what they've said, I think the Switch is looking pretty good. I'm hoping, I hope that Nintendo get it right, because I'd hate to see Nintendo disappear anywhere, because it's one of those companies that's a household name. Everyone loves a little bit of Nintendo, and I don't care what anybody says. You say Nintendo, and it makes you smile, because it makes you think that you're a child again, playing Mario, playing Zelda, playing these games that most of us did grow up with, you know, and that's what the Nintendo does. It was only later years where these bullies, Sony and Microsoft, come in, and that's all you see in the household. But I want this to be Nintendo's claim to a pitch in someone's house, not a competitor but different. As I said before, I want it to be different. I want people to be able to have an Xbox or a PlayStation, but to have that Switch there as well because it's different from everything else. And
And
my
that's
still
really the
concern is,
advantage of it, I think.
yeah, and I think it is. I think that's a really good way of looking at it. And I've kept an eye on all the stuff. I know we're going to talk about the indie bits in this, and I'll let you explain it. But the indie lineup, that's got me more hyped than anything. That's got me more hyped than seeing Zelda. That indie lineup looks insane. And I know they're available for other platforms, but playing Stardew Valley on the go, that looks incredible. So yeah, my initial reaction was, well, Nintendo Switch, come on, And then as time's gone on, I've gone a bit like, okay, yeah, this is looking promising. Looked at the console, I love the look of it. I think it's an amazing.
Yeah, it looks like they stole it from Apple.
Yeah, it does. It does look like they've taken it from Apple, and they've also taken it from this amazing piece of equipment. I'll just show everyone that. But still, it's a great looking console. The controllers look good. So yeah, I can understand your hype for it from reading the stuff that I've read. Battery life, I think, still is going to be one of those things where if you're making this your main handheld console, you're going to be slightly disappointed.
Well, it also
Which,
it depends on what games you're playing on it.
yeah,
I don't remember who did it, but somebody did a side-by-side comparison with the battery test, just leaving the OS running and leaving it on, and the Switch did better than just about every portable system out there.
really, I didn't
Just
see that.
just with the OS running. So that means it's
Okay,
got a pretty good battery. Now, if you throw Zelda in there, that's a really high power requirement game. That's going to run through the battery pretty quickly. But if you put something on there like, for instance, Wargroove, which was just announced, and we'll talk about that in a second, like with 2D sprites and stuff, that thing's going to last like 6 hours, and that's great.
yeah, I agree. Zelda, from the test that I've seen, Zelda, they reckon. I mean, if you're on the go, you're not going to turn the screen all the way up. You can conserve the battery. But they reckon that, and I hope that they put in. This is one of the great features. I know I always go back to the Vita, but please, I'm a Vita fanboy. But what Sony have done on that is they put a limit to how much you can put on the display, like the on the bar. You can't turn it all the way up, so it doesn't kill the battery, which I think is a very clever thing because I'm one of these people who likes to see quite a nice, bright, vibrant screen and see colours pop at me. And I hope Nintendo do kind of that thing when you take it out of the dock, you've got a certain amount, unless you have to go into the settings and turn that off, which you have to do on the Vita, and I can never be bothered to do that.
Well, they
So,
have it has a ambient light sensor in the system
so
itself, so it
yeah,
will notice how bright the room is and adjust it yourself. And phones have had that for years, and I always ignored them and always put my phone at maximum brightness.
yeah, I'm like that.
Up until 3 years ago, I got this phone. It's the iPhone 6 Plus, and I didn't notice that I hadn't turned on maximum brightness. And
Right,
once I
okay.
realized that, I was like, oh, okay, so I guess the ambient light sensors are pretty good at figuring out what the brightness needs to be. I just hope that the Switch has a better ambient light sensor than the 3DS, because the 3DS had a terrible ambient light sensor, and
Yeah,
only time will tell there.
that's it. But hardware-wise, it looks solid. It looks like it's going to be a good console. You look like you made a great purchase on the Switch. Um, However, I think Nintendo have done something completely, left field. Xbox and PS4, they look very similar. They're a square unit. Everything's packed inside it. Job done. This has something different. It has character. I think is the best way to describe it.
Well,
It has character.
it's not all unicorns and rainbows, though. There are some problems with the system,
Yeah, I.
and that's
Yeah,
with the
I'll let
Joy-Cons,
you.
apparently.
Yeah, I'll let you carry on.
All right, so the news is that apparently the left Joy-Con, and for those of you who don't know, that's the ridiculous name that Nintendo decided to give the controllers, Joy-Con, Joy Controller. I mean, I understand where they're coming from. They called them joysticks and stuff. So sorry for my sniff. The left Joy-Con apparently if you can block its signal because they're using Bluetooth LE, and you can block the signal with your hand, and it will sometimes lose pairing connection for a second. And when that happens, your character will continue doing whatever it was doing when you blocked it. Nintendo has, of course, been incredibly tight-lipped about this. They don't say anything. They probably have a fix in the works. It'll probably be fixed on day one, but nobody knows that because Nintendo just doesn't talk about anything. They're very closed-mouthed, and they don't like to point out. They don't like to talk about weaknesses. So we'll see what happens there. I really hope that that's fixed, but somebody did some tests at different meters, like at 10 meters, what it was like, at 20 meters, what it was like, and it's probably not going to be an issue for me because all of the rooms in my house are fairly small. And there you go. Most of the time when I'm playing, I'm going to be less than 1 meter away because I'm going to be playing at my desk because I'll be streaming it. And if I'm playing on the TV, I guess my TV is probably 5 meters away from my couch, maybe 5 meters. It's pretty close. We got a small house. So we're going to see how it goes there. What's your reaction to that, Zap?
I think that's a real sad shame, like a proper shame, that they've made this console. They've made it look like they do. The joysticks look amazing. It's a joystick, not a Joy-Con, Nintendo. Joystick. Sort your name out. Damn it.
Well, no. The joystick is the joystick. The whole controller is a Joy-Con, short for joystick controller.
Just controller. Anyway, I think it's a real shame. I think that, again, 90% love, 10% Nintendo pull your finger out sort of thing. You know, it sounds very basic, a very basic mistake, if it makes sense. Especially with one doing it, not the other. That's, you kind of, if that kind of problem you'd expect in both. But to have one do it, not the other, that sounds almost slightly poor coding, or I don't know how they.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, that's what it sounds. It sounds like they've done the right one and gone, well, we'll do the left one after we've had a few beers. And
well, you also got to remember the right Joy-Con also has other stuff in it. So the right Joy-Con has an NFC chip. It's got the IR controller, whatever, mabob. It's the infrared camera in it. There was something else it has. I can't remember. Oh, no, I think that's just, those are the two other things that it has. So because it has those two things, maybe the code, and I am not a programmer, so I don't know anything about it, but maybe the firmware on the left one just has to be tweaked. And I bet that that's probably, if it were a hardware issue, my guess is it would probably be happening with both of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It sounds like they put all their effort into the right one. Because doesn't the right one also, does it read those figures?
Yeah, that's the NFC reader.
That's the NFC reader, okay. Well, apparently the 2DS does that. I don't even know what they are. My son picked one up in the game store the other week and went, Daddy, you can buy this. I went, what is it? And he went, well,
it's cool. That's what it is, Dad.
I went, I can see it's that, but what do I do with it? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, great, cheers.
I don't think the 2DS has a reader built in, so
I thought they did. I don't know. I read somewhere, unless it was just rumored to be in it. I don't know, but it's a shame that one is doing this, and you know, again, Nintendo should just come out and go, oh, we got a slight issue. There's going to be a day one patch. Like most things these days, there's a day one patch. Who gets a game these days and doesn't get a day one patch? Doesn't matter.
Speaking of the day one patch, Nintendo did say that there is a day one patch for the system that unlocks, because right now there's review units out there.
Yeah, of course.
And the review units don't have any online functionality yet. They don't have access to eShop. And probably because Nintendo just didn't want to show off some of that stuff. My guess is that there's some games that are going to be on that they haven't announced yet.
Okay.
You know, something like that. So they have all that stuff blocked off. And then the day one patch, they said is a very small patch, and it will be done in the background. So when you get your console, you boot it up and you play Zelda or Skylanders Infinity or whatever video game it is that you decided to buy with it, and probably Zelda, because for crying out loud, it's Zelda. And you're going to start playing, and it'll download that stuff in the background. So it's not like, God, I can't remember what it was, but there was a console launch where the day one patch was so massive that people could not
PS4.
play. What was it?
The PS4.
Was it the PS4? Yeah, the day one
So,
patch
yeah.
was so massive that nobody could play it. And then at the same time, Sony servers got hacked, and like it was just a disaster for Sony.
Yeah, people ask me why I'm a Sony fanboy. There's so many issues, and I'm like, I can't help it. But the whole thing, you always do say, that the whole 90%, that they'll do 8 things right out of 10, and then they'll do 2 things wrong. So hopefully they don't have too many problems. Hopefully there's plenty of units to go around. And just in general, it sounds like, and Zenkless, no, was it Zenkless or was it someone earlier in chat? I missed it. We were talking. Basically said the early reviews are promising for the Switch, which is good. If the early reviews are coming out saying that it's good, then going forward we should see some really nice reviews. But personally, I don't care about the reviews. I like the console, and I will be eventually getting one this year, but not for Zelda. I will play it. The whole room just goes quiet. I said not for Zelda, but just for everything else that's got coming for it, because I love this idea of this console on the go, and I can play stuff like Stardew Valley, and the indie games it's got listed is incredible.
Right. Yeah. Just yesterday they had an announcement of a whole lot of indie games. I think there were like 60 of them that they put like they put like 60 of them on this screen. And which of those games got your attention the most? For me, it was Wargroove. Wargroove looks great.
Is Wargroove the Advanced Wars thing?
Yes.
Yes, I have played Advanced Wars on the original Nintendo. What's the original flip up? Nintendo DS. The Nintendo DS. I had a Nintendo DS and I played Advanced Wars on that. Loved it. Thought it was an amazing game.
Awesome.
If Wargroove's like that, then I'm all over that. That's incredible. Stardew Valley got my Escapist, because I've never played that. That's supposed to be really cool. There's loads. I mean, there's 60 games, and I've got an article here as well. And Rocket League is supposed to be making its way to the Switch as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, now I already own that, and buying things more than once just feels dumb. But Rocket League is so good.
Can you imagine that on the move?
Well, I mean, you also have to have access to the internet.
Just most places, you get to a coffee house or somewhere, and you want to play a game of Rocket League.
That's true. That's true.
Internet is everywhere these days. You can even probably get, if it's got a USB port, you can even probably get a USB dongle that will allow you to connect to the internet. There's multiple ways you could probably do it. But Rocket League apparently comes to the Switch, so that's going to be incredible. Jackbox is another one. Kodiak says Jackbox, and we've both seen that. That's great. That's a great game.
Especially portable. You imagine if you were in college and you're just carrying around, you got Jackbox Party Pack in your backpack, and you go over to like somebody's house, you pull that out, you set it on the screen, or you set it on the table, and you guys start playing that game with your phone. That'd be super fun. That's the thing about it. I did get it free with the controllers, and that's a good point. I just want to answer a question in chat. Chaz in chat wants to know how big the screen is. It's a 6.2 inch, that's diagonal, capacitive touchscreen, and it's got 720p for the resolution, which seems low, but that's because we're used to the resolutions of our phones, which have to be very high because we're reading stuff on them all the time. When you're playing a game, super high resolution is not nearly as important.
I mean, this whole 4K thing is just bonkers. There's no need for 4K. People will go against what I'm saying and say 4K is needed, but I don't think it's 1080p works fine. on your screens. But I think 720 is good enough for the Switch. Doesn't it on portable run at 900p or something, or is it 720 all the way?
It's 720 on portable, and then depending on the game, you're going to get different resolutions when you
That's
are
correct. Yeah.
playing connected to the TV. So when you're connected to the TV, like Zelda runs at 900p, 30 frames per second. But like I think like Snipper Clips or something that's not as power intensive, that runs at 1080 at
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
SteamWorld Dig 2 also has caught my attention.
Oh, that looks really
Uh,
good.
I've never played a SteamWorld game, but apparently they're amazing. You've got Terraria coming to the Switch. I've got multiple copies of that game and would buy it again on Switch. See, from this list, I mean, we spoke a few weeks ago about the online capabilities of the Switch and how you're paying for it, and it's obviously going to be cheaper. And I now believe that their online service, and if Rocket League comes, will be worth paying for. Because
Well,
at launch
at $2.50 a month. I mean, who cares? That's so cheap.
yeah, you just there's nothing there. So you know, I think that Nintendo again they're hitting the right stuff. I mean, I don't remember many indie titles coming to their previous consoles. I might be wrong about the Wii U. I never had one, but I don't remember a lot of indie titles. It really does feel like Nintendo have opened up and gone, right, okay, we need you guys as well.
No, they did not. Prior, Nintendo did not go out and court the indie market, which was a big mistake.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
kind of
didn't
what I
do a good
thought.
job with that.
And
If
this,
you go ahead,
so I was going to say, this looks like it's a positive thing for them.
yeah. If you guys are hyped for the Switch, just make sure that you tune in here, this channel right here on Friday, probably around 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern. I'm going to be unboxing mine right here, hooking it up, and streaming Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So make sure you tune in, and definitely make sure you listen next week when Zap will ask me all of the questions that he can think of about the system. But we've talked
I've
about
already got
the Switch. What was that?
I've got a page worth of questions to ask you. It's gonna be like an interview.
There we go. So we've talked about the Switch for quite a bit. So why don't you take us into our next story, Zap?
Well, we're about to get legal, so everyone put on don your legal hats because this is an important one, especially with a new console on the horizon. Let me ask you a question, and I'll ask Chat the same question. When you buy a console, is it your right to open it up and get it repaired yourself?
Yeah, without a doubt. Or at least I think it should be. But we have to accept a EULA. That for those of you who don't listen to tech podcasts, that's End User License Agreement, EULA. And I'm not sure what that says because nobody reads those.
No. But there is apparently a law being pushed, or they call it the Right to Repair Bill in Nebraska. Now, this is happening in one place, alright, currently, but this scares me a little bit because if they're pushing this through, then what about other places and across America, across the rest of the world? The Entertainment Software Association, a trade organization that includes Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, as well as dozens of video game developers and publishers, is opposing the Right to Repair Bill. So the game developers, the companies behind this console, do not want you opening your console up. They want you to ring them up, send it off to Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, wait how many other weeks, and then they send it back. And if it's out of warranty, you've got to pay for it, this, that, and the other. Which kind of makes me a little bit cross on a couple of reasons. Firstly, let's talk the Microsoft Red Ring of Death. If everybody remembers, if everyone had an Xbox back in the day and it had the infamous Red Ring of Death, Microsoft held their hands up and said it didn't exist. Said that basically it wasn't their fault.
For a while, yeah. I mean, eventually they came around and said, whoops.
Of course. But for those first, however long I think it might have been like 6 months or something, people were complaining of this Red Ring of Death, and I believe, if I got it right, someone in chat might be able to correct me, or even use, they put the graphics chip right above the processor, which meant that the pins on the graphics chip melted, which then caused the graphics chip to just disintegrate.
So
which then,
wait, what happens if? Okay, so they're opposed to this right to repair thing, but
yeah,
I mean, let's say I open up. It's not like I get in trouble. It just voids my warranty, right?
of course, yeah.
That
But
I
what they're
mean,
trying,
of course it should void my warranty. If I open up my console and start tinkering around in there, I'm going to screw something up because I'm a moron.
I agree with that bit, but the
You
idea of the
agree that
right to
I'm a
repair,
moron? I'm
no,
just kidding.
I paused for too. Did I pause for too long there? Anyway, no. What I mean is, I agree that if you open something up, it should. The joke failed. Completely put me off my stride.
Sorry,
I
man.
agree that if you open something up, then yes, you should void your warranty. But I don't agree that you should be stopped from sending your console, your phone, because this doesn't just stop your phone. Apple, is your games console. Apple are also apparently on board with this. So they're basically saying that the only place you can send your electronics is to the people that made them in the first place, not to a person down the street who's qualified in electronics to fix it, who will do it cheaper, and you're also keeping a small business in business. Um, I don't know what it's like for you and where you live, Bill, but for us, we have a couple of places that will repair consoles, that will repair phones.
Yeah,
We
we
used
got places like that too. I mean, the phone repair places, like screen repair, are all
yeah,
over the place. You can't walk
yes,
3 feet without seeing somebody sitting there with 58 phones open on the counter.
but they will do it at like half the price. If you sent your phone to Apple, and I know this for a fact. In the UK, when I had an iPhone 4, I smashed the screen. Um, and I took it to Apple, and they wanted over £100 for it to be repaired. And I was like, "This is insane." I can go to matey round the corner, and he can repair it for like £25. And he went, and they're like, "Well, that'll void your warranty." But the phone's out of warranty as it is.
Right.
You know,
So there you go.
I wanted to know exactly how much you would charge me, or you can pay £170 and have a brand new iPhone 5. No, I don't need a new phone. This phone works fine. Well, the screen doesn't, but everything else on the phone works. So it was kind of like uh, you can't if the prices that like especially Apple or were down, then maybe that would be fine. But I feel a little bit for the small businesses on this, that there are people out there trying to make a genuine living out of repairing stuff that us morons break. Um, and this is just the company's way of. I find it a little bit greedy, personally. I think it's a little bit greedy on that part.
Something else
Whether
that
on
is related to this is I don't know why, but I read an article once about this. Farm equipment has I know it's weird that I was reading this, but farm equipment apparently has proprietary chips. Like the new farm equipment has like proprietary chips that keeps people from repairing it themselves because it's a violation of copyright or something like that. If you're looking at this, Eskimo Princess should probably
oh
chime
yeah
in if she's here. No, I don't think she's here today. But I'd love to hear more about it. It's so weird the
yeah
the idea that we don't own the things that we buy. Like I don't own a copy of Final Fantasy 14, which I've been playing a lot of lately. I'm just renting it. I just have a I have the I paid for the permission to play it, and if they feel like taking it away, they can. And that's really something. It's more endemic to the entire industry as a whole than it is to just this one law. But I do hope the right to repair law goes through, and because I don't think that there should be regulations in the way of a consumer.
no. I mean, they've got an example in this article. So if you are, especially if Eskimo Princess is back, the article will be in the show notes. Have a good read, because I'd love to hear what Eskimo, because Eskimo's in doing all the legal stuff. I'd love to know what she says on it. But the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, as I was saying earlier, both had signatures failure. I was about the Xbox 360. I watched the PlayStation 3 one from my memory because it's Sony, and all the things that Sony do are great. Um, basically, they were charging like $200. Sony charged $200 for a refurbished PS3, and it's like, well, this is your fault. This problem is caused by your shoddy manufacturing. Same with Xbox, and that's the problem, because you wouldn't have found out if some person didn't go to a repair shop and go, my Xbox is showing red, my PlayStation is showing yellow. That's not right. Can you open up and have a look? And they look, and as I said, the person who fixed it found the chip was above, and it was just melting. And it's like, well, that's Microsoft. That's your fault. You're putting in the, So I hope that the right to repair bill does go through, and the video game industry and everyone else out there that's opposing this backs down and realise that they just need to stop. They just need to back off that one a little
They
bit.
need to drop it.
Yeah.
And speaking of dropping things, sorry, see what I did there? All right, so
Yeah.
Twitch drops is coming, and this is a really interesting and very smart move by Twitch. It says here, pardon me, it says, as a game developer, you're always looking for new ways to engage players within your games. Today, we're excited to bring you Drops, a program which will help you increase your game's engagement and retention by letting you consistently, reliably, and directly reward your players for engaging with your games on Twitch. This program enables you to grant in-game items or drops, basically loot, to your gaming community natively from within the Twitch viewing experience. That is so flippin' cool. So I could be watching, like maybe I'm watching Zap play Final Fantasy 14 or whatever, and he gets this cool mount to drop, and then as an add-on, and I'm just spitballing here, as an add-on, maybe he gets one that he can automatically give away to one of the people who are watching. That's cool, if that's the way it works. What do you think about that?
That's really cool. I know that a couple of companies already do that. Epic with Paragon. It's a bit different. They do a similar thing. They have a Twitch bot that jumps into people's chats and drops loot basically for the viewers. So it's kind of taking that kind of service on, if that makes sense. And I'm guessing that's what they've done. They've sort of looked at it and gone, wow, that looks incredible. And basically if you're watching it, your Twitch account is linked to your Epic account, and while you're playing Paragon or watching someone play Paragon, their bot can jump in, give you a code, and you win a free skin. And it's
That's
a great
cool.
thing. Yeah, it's so good, and I love Epic for that. That's basically just rewarding people for watching their game, playing their game. I got one problem with this.
Okay.
Why call it drops?
Well, because, I think
might
in most of the time in games, we usually say, like, oh, man, this dropped.
I think it's just my 12-year-old brain going, nah, drops, and thinking of something,
I don't know.
wrong. But basically, anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's not really, I guess, it's not as in the American vernacular as much as it is over there, I guess. It never occurred to me.
It just instantly just went.
We all proved last week that we're all 12. It's okay, Zap.
I'm now proving that I'm younger.
Yeah, there we go.
So, no, this is really good, and I think that's a great way, especially if you've got an upcoming developer and they've made a really solid game, and they wanted to get some partnered streamers or non-partnered, anybody making a game out there and wants to get me and Run Jump on board and put this system in place, then we're happy to talk. And it's a great way of pulling people in. It helps you as a streamer. It helps you as a developer. It's a really nice system, and I love the way Twitch is growing and growing. Even though when we stream, it's very much we're down somewhere, but and hopefully one day you you're crawling to the top sort of thing. And by the time Twitch gets to its point where it's at its prime,
prime.
I feel like I think we could be seeing such a great Twitch, the way it works. I just think that Twitch are doing a lot of good things.
Well, speaking of good things that Twitch are doing, they're also going to start selling games and giving a cut to the streamer who is playing it. So,
wow.
Here's another cool thing. They've already got some people on board. Let's say that you're playing, what was the new game that you were playing? Not Destiny.
The Division.
Division, yeah, the Division. So let's say you're playing the Division, and I'm watching you play the Division. Right underneath, if you're partnered, right underneath your window, there's going to be a buy the Division, and you get a cut if I buy it.
Wow. That's really good.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah,
very, very cool.
that's just tying all affiliation links and everything into one neat little pot.
Yeah.
You know, that makes it better because there's nothing worse than your chat spamming stuff. And all I had a stream the other day. Not sort of people would obviously then joining, but my chat was filled with bot spam. I was like, just links of affiliation links to arena. I'm like, oh, that's not good. But and that's quite a nice way of just tying it all in. So yeah, Twitch, well done.
Yeah, and it's a good way for them to compete with Steam because, like, that's my go-to place. My go-to thing is to go buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
But if I can support somebody who somebody who I like if I can give them some of the money from making that because I like their stream, then I'm probably going to do that. And I'll launch it through Twitch. Twitch does need to fix their launcher, though. It's a little weak.
I haven't got it installed at the minute. I hate it. I hate it.
I don't hate it. It's just, it's very non-consequential.
I hate all launches except from Steam.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really like Steam, but I also remember when Steam first came out, it was a hot pile of garbage.
Yeah.
What did you just delete something in the show notes?
No, I didn't. That was your box.
No, and the Microsoft opens up.
No, that was your. Hey, I'll put it back in. Hey, look. Don't delete it.
I was trying to click on it. It was him. It was his fault. Why don't you tell us about this? It's all your fault.
So I originally had a story in there about Mass Effect Andromeda, and then this popped up, and I thought this was a bit. I don't know. So you'll have to wait to hear about a Mass Effect Andromeda for another one. But anyway, Microsoft opens Xbox development to anyone with Xbox Live Creator programs. Hello, Xbox. You've now opened the floodgates for what Steam didn't want. Oh, dear. So they basically opened up and said anybody can become a developer as long as you've got the Live Creators program, which I think is quite cool. Actually, there's another way of getting small developers out there recognised for games. As long as, this kind of goes with what we were saying last week about the whole. Last week we talked about Greenlight.
It was either last week or the week before.
The week before. As long as they don't start getting trash, and that's the last thing you want on such a console and a system like Xbox. I understand why they're doing it because Sony would never do this. That's look how long it took them to put mods for Skyrim on there, and then they had to have certain limitations, and so. It's like Microsoft are trying to get, or Microsoft, the same thing, are trying to give their consumers and developers and creators another platform, and basically saying, look, here you go, this is out there for you, and I think this is good. And I just also saw it's also for Windows 10 as well, so there's two platforms. I mean, it would mean you have to go through the Windows 10 store, which is a pile of garbage, but anyway. That's really nice to see Microsoft, but again, I fear that you're going to end up getting, dare I say their name, another version of Digital Homicide making absolute rubbish.
Yeah, you're going to get garbage on the store without a doubt, and that's why they have a one-time a fee, so that you got to pay to put your stuff on the store, and then. Why don't you tell them what that fee is while I sneeze?
That fee is... Oh, I can't remember what it was now. I got blank.
Is $100. Thanks. You totally dropped the ball, man. It ranges from $20 to $100, and the reason that they do that is for tracking purposes. So you pay that fee. And then if you're putting some stuff on there, they say, okay, we're pulling your license. You're no longer able to put stuff on our system. And we will also ban that credit card from buying another fee. So that's how I see them doing it. And the same thing is going on with Steam's not Greenlight, but whatever they decided to call it, where anybody can put anything on there. Now they have not announced the fee to do that.
No,
I
no.
like that. Like, it doesn't seem like you have to buy any hardware for this, because usually you have
Yeah.
like a dev unit that you have to purchase.
Um,
But I guess because you're running it on Windows, there's
yeah,
no dev unit.
Scorpio will need a hardware-based SDK, which means
Oh,
you'll need to apply for ID at Xbox and or work for a third-party publisher.
oh,
So
okay,
you'll need to apply for something. I think you get the hardware that you need.
okay.
Um,
Speaking of hardware, the Switch development units are $500, which is no, that's very cheap. It's very cheap.
that's why my mouth was open.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's very, very cheap for. Apparently, usually these things are like $5,000, so $500 for a dev unit. That's really good. I mean, I'm not going to go out and buy one because I would tinker with it for a while and I'd be like, I can't get anything good to happen.
Can
I'm
we
not.
just pause the show? My house phone is ringing.
Okay, go for it,
Right
man.
back.
He has a house phone. Who has a house phone these days? That's weird. House phones. Well, anyway, let me mute him. So, what do you guys think so far? The Wii U dev unit was $5,000. That is that's a lot. And I don't know how much it is for PS4 dev units or Xbox One dev units, but Kodiak Moonwolf has a Wii U dev unit. I didn't know you were a video game developer, Kodiak. Have you made any games? That's really cool. Let's go back through chat real quick. Um, GameStop charges $279 for a refurbished and only $300 for a new one. That's crazy. Yeah, that's not good. Somebody earlier asked, how is it that GameStop can charge $20 for something and then sell it for used for $55? The reason for that is because GameStop does a lot of weird stuff. You know, nobody really understands what GameStop is doing, but they're doing it at the detriment of the gaming industry as a whole. And it was Chaz that said that. Very good. They're doing that as a detriment to the gaming industry as a whole, just to fill their coffers. But then again, they're a publicly traded company. It's their job to try and make a profit any way that they can. If they don't, then their investors can sue them. So I totally understand why they do it. I think that they would be better off if they didn't. We are going to take a quick break while we wait for Zap because I have got to blow my nose. And by the way, if you've seen me disappearing from the screen from time to time, that's why. So you guys stick around. I'm going to put on some music while we're gone. Don't go anywhere. Turned off my microphone. There we go. You guys couldn't hear me, but I was just talking. What's going on, man?
Yeah, no, as I've been getting a lot of cold callers lately, so my phone company will be getting a phone call tomorrow. It's like 9 in the evening here. The kids are in bed. I was like, you this time of night, you think something's happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, so yeah, I've just been speaking to my wife just to.
All right. So the last story was about Xbox. Our next story is about Xbox, and it's kind of weird. It's a really good thing. I hope that other companies are going to follow suit here. Xbox announces Game Pass, and it is basically a Netflix-style subscription service for video games. So it says Microsoft has just announced, this is from Games Radar, by the way. Microsoft has just announced Xbox Game Pass, an all-you-can-eat game library for a fixed monthly fee. The game subscription service is due out in spring, although preview testers are trying a reduced version of the service now, and will give you 100 Xbox One and backward compatible 360 games for $7.99. Or I'm sorry, for $7.99 or $9.99 per month. I really like this, and now it of course depends on what games are going to be available for it. But I really like this idea of paying a subscription to my console, not to just one publisher. I'm not interested in just one publisher. Paying a subscription to my console and getting a broad swath of publishers, because I know that EA has their access program, but that's just EA, and most EA games I don't care about. What do you think about this, man?
I like it. It's direct competition to PS Now. That's what this is. It's not competition to EA Access. EA Access is too cheap. I have EA Access, and I like EA Access, but because I don't like EA. I like some of their games. I've got all the. I know Bob was saying about the trouble that he had with Mass Effect the other week, but I got Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. Got a lot of great games. I know that if I cancelled, or I would lose a lot of the content, but I pay £3.99, which is less than a Twitch subscription for EA Access. My biggest problem with PlayStation Now, moving away from that one, because I only said that because you mentioned it and Dragonfire in chat said about it, is that PlayStation Now is too expensive. It's £12 a month, and you don't get a great catalogue, and that annoys me. If this came to the PC, I would be all over this like a donkey on a waffle.
I'm sorry, like a what?
A donkey on a waffle. That's from Shrek.
Oh, okay. And in the morning, I'm making waffles. I get it now.
Yeah, there you go. So we do all sorts here. We do movie quotes too. This is a very cool idea. Now, like I say, if it comes to PC, I'm all over it. PlayStation Now is very good because it is on PC, but it's just too expensive. It's £4 a month more than what you pay for here. And the game that I wanted to play, which I'm not going to mention right now because I could be mentioning it later, is been pulled from PlayStation Now. So it's like, these streaming services are going to become ever popular. It's finding a price that's suitable for everyone. I think we spoke about a streaming service a few weeks ago, and it was Nvidia, and they were charging bonkers price because if you wanted to play it like on a 1080, it was just bonkers. The idea was great, but at the same time, it was their pricing. Xbox, this idea is fantastic. Pricing is fantastic. Bring it to PC, and I'm paying it, and I will put it on my computer because that's quality.
Fair enough. All right. If you guys think that it's a good idea or a bad idea, let us know let us know. Email us, runjumpstomp@gmail.com. I want to know what price you think is a fair price for Netflix for video games.
But I will say this: I did see an article that on the back of this that GameStop, their shares tanked. The announcement of this.
Yes. That's not a big surprise because most of their money is made on selling used games, which sucks because used games damage the video game market. Now, I have taken my games and traded them in for money because, hey, I like money. But it does hurt the industry because every time that you buy a used game, that is money that is going to GameStop and not to the developers of that game. So that's why that's why I buy all my games new. I don't buy used games anymore. It's because I want the developers to get the money that they deserve. That's just me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree with that. I've done the same and do agree with it. But this is a nice way to you're helping developers, and again, this kind of service will be ever popular. digital downloads is very popular now. We all like this idea of a digital download. I prefer a hard copy of a game. I like to see my disc, my box collections. But that's just a personal thing. I buy digital games because it's pretty much the easiest way to get them. So yeah, no, hats off to Microsoft. That's good. Man, we're
Well,
being really nice to companies.
real quick, Dragonfire asks, do you think they'll stop the Games with Gold program when they kick this off? So
Yes.
they said, I think there are always comparisons to extremely popular subscription services like Netflix, a long-standing Xbox partner, when a new type of service is launched. There are certainly differences between the services in terms of content being offered. We're focused on offering a choice of games. Also, all games in the Xbox Game Pass catalog will be downloaded to your Xbox One. This means continuous, full-fidelity gameplay without streaming. We know that this has been something the gaming community values in order to provide an enjoyable and seamless service. Then they said, how will it sit alongside services such as Games with Gold? Games with Gold and Xbox Game Pass are two different service offerings with unique benefits. Games with Gold is an added benefit specific to Xbox Live Gold members that reward players with 2 to 4 free games each month to enjoy. Xbox Game Pass is a subscription-based service that gives you an unlimited access to over 100 games for one easy price per month. Xbox Live Gold is not required for Xbox Game Pass. However, Xbox Live Gold is required for multiplayer titles that are part of the Game Pass catalog. So hopefully that clears it up for you.
Yeah. I just found an article that it won't be coming to PC. So, Microsoft, you can stick it.
All right, let's talk about something else that's not coming to PC. You have the next story. Why don't you tell us about it?
It's about Zelda. It's about your baby, Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. I mean, the pirate has already been pirated. Wow, there has been leaks. Apparently, there's been a leak of the. I don't quite understand how you pirate a console game. I can understand a PC game, but this is just insane. Please don't read this if you don't. They do say some spoilers ahead, so please be careful.
I won't scroll down.
No. I'm gonna skim over a lot of it, but they reckon files have been leaked. They reckon pictures, late game stuff has all been leaked. But worst of all, they reckon they've got the files from the Nintendo Wii U version. Got them on the internet. People are torrenting it, making it available to run on Wii U. Seriously, guys, come on. I mean, stop it. That's just disgusting. This game has been in development for God knows how long. Support developers. This hurts the industry. And if you're sitting there playing Nintendo, Breath of the Wild on a pirated version, I hope Nintendo finds you. And I really hope they do something about it in some way or another, because seriously, nah, that's bad. I think it's terrible. But from what it's been saying is basically the brief outline is that downloaded the encrypted Breath of the Wild files straight from Nintendo. They came straight from Nintendo, so a back door open somewhere, and is allegedly become playable on the Wii U with a digital skeleton key source from a legit version of the game. So it just shows that people will go to any lengths to get a game.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to add to this. Yes, you're right, guys. If you want people to make good games, you got to pay for them. Although I won't say that I am 100%. When I was younger, I used to download pirated software. I don't anymore.
Yeah, I've done it.
Because I've grown up and I've learned, oh, well, if I want them to make good software, then they need the money to do that.
Yeah, I've played games on emulators, things like that. But at the same time, but come on, seriously, this just hurts. This kind of stuff really does hurt the industry.
It does.
I mean,
so that's it for the headlines. Let's move into the lightning round. We're going to go a little bit faster, and my voice is starting to fall away, so we're going to have to cut it short. So we'll make sure that we really do lightning round this. First up, do you watch Heroes of the Storm esports at all?
No, because I don't understand it.
Okay, fair enough. I love watching Heroes of the Storm esports, and they have last year, the first time that I started watching it was Heroes of the Dorm, which basically the winners get free college tuition,
Oh
which
wow!
is a really awesome prize, you know.
Yeah.
So Heroes of the Dorm is coming back. I'm excited, but it's coming back on Facebook Live. I don't use Facebook at all. Like I even for my stream, I have a Facebook account that I just don't bother with because I don't care about Facebook. I don't like Facebook. I don't want to sign into Facebook. I don't like Facebook. And I'm irritated that I may have to go to Facebook to watch this. I don't know if I will have to go to Facebook to watch it. Maybe it'll also be on Twitch, but there's nothing on their website that says that I'd also be able to watch it on Twitch, which is where I would want to watch it. That's where the gamers are. You know who's on Facebook? People's grandmothers are on Facebook.
Yeah, my nan with 7 cats. I see it on Facebook.
Right. If you wanted to get somebody's attention who played games, then you would go on Facebook, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. They're not on Facebook anymore except for to share baby pictures. That's not where we want to go. And I know what happened. Blizzard got paid by Facebook to do this, I'm sure. You know, when Facebook first brought out Facebook Live, they were paying a lot of celebrities to use it. And then they stopped paying those celebrities, and those celebrities stopped using it. Gamers want to watch stuff on Twitch because, for crying out loud, it's video games, and that's what Twitch is all about. Dragon Tear says, can people recast it on Twitch from Facebook? Probably, but you're going to get banned by Twitch because that's illegal, and Twitch doesn't want to get sued, you know? Sorry for my sniffles.
Dragon Tears also says, my gran is on Facebook, but don't go after the cats.
Yeah, I like cats.
Yeah, I like cats too, but I just think it's disgusting. Mark Zuckerberg went, hey, Blizzard, here's some money. That's what happened. That was the meeting. That was that exact meeting. It was here. There's a suitcase of money.
Okay. All right. So that's lightning round. So do you have anything else to add there?
No, it's disgusting. Put it on Twitch.
Put it on Twitch. I don't have a problem with it being on Facebook. I just want it to be everywhere.
Put it on Twitch as well.
Put it on Twitch. Put it on YouTube. Put it on Vimeo. Put it everywhere. So anybody who wants to watch it can watch it and sell ads on every one of them. Yeah. All right. What's this thing about rapping?
Oh, just 2 seconds before you move very quickly. You look on the streaming schedule. Facebook Live. No stream coverage. So they've even got games where there's no stream coverage because it's literally stuck to Facebook Live. That's
Well, last year they didn't stream every game anyway.
Okay. Well, I'll have to look into it, and hopefully it will be on Twitch as well, but I doubt it. So, there we go. The next story is all about Ben Brode.
Who's Ben Brode?
When you listen to, he is the designer of Hearthstone.
Oh, okay.
This has a cringe warning, but it's so funny. Reddit guys, basically, there's a new trailer for the new expansion coming in, and it looks incredible. I know a few weeks ago I said I'm done with Hearthstone, but I hate you, Blizzard, because I just want to play Hearthstone now when this new Year of the Mammoth and the new expansion releases. Watch the rap, have a listen. It's cringy, but it's so funny. I think this is amazing from a developer. They're supposed to have this kind of high standing, all this kind of stuff. But there he is, literally rapping about his new expansion. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really funny. It made me laugh.
Oh gosh, I was muted.
Oh, that's all right. It's fine.
I know that you could hear me, but you could hear me, but they can't hear me when I do that.
But yeah, if you got a couple of minutes, go listen to it. It's so fun. It is, but it's cringy. There is a big cringe one with this because it'll make you go. But it's it shows you that this man is really passionate about what's coming around the corner for Hearthstone. So
Hearthstone's a good game too. If you haven't downloaded it, download it. It's free and it's fun. Next thing in the lightning round is reactions to Zelda. I'm just going to read a couple of these. So from GameSpot. God, I wish they would not have the name so similar. Their takeaway is that Breath of the Wild embodies the freedom and danger that made the first Zelda game so enthralling and captures the feeling and awe that came with Ocarina of Time hit the scene. It's safe to say that Breath of the Wild will forever change what people expect from the series. Game Central says, at this stage, we'd be shocked if this didn't turn out to be the best Zelda since Ocarina of Time. It may even surpass it. Engadget says 5 hours in, it feels like a contender for the strongest game Nintendo has launched a console with since Super Mario 64. If you weren't thinking about playing it before now, I implore you to reconsider that thought. Wired magazine says it may be a very different Zelda, but it's shaping up to be one of the best ever. And then Game Explain says this is a game we're going to be talking about for decades to come. And then there's more after that. These reviews are fantastic. I am really, really hyped for this game. And I know that you're not a Zelda guy, but these reviews are saying really great things about it.
I've got to try and get on the Zelda train because I need to see what it's like. But I heard even someone say that this is game of the year contention. We're not even got the game in your hands yet. Switch is not even out, but they're already in March. They're saying because you just had Horizon Zero Dawn launch as well on the PlayStation. They reckon that's game of the year contention, and Zelda. 2 games from March already game of the year. That's incredible. I'd like to when we do our game of the year awards at the end of the year, not to think about the end of the year, yeah. But anyway, I'd love to see if this is your game of the year because there's a lot of great stuff coming.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff coming, and I've got both. I'll have Zelda this Friday, and I've got Horizon Zero Dawn, which I haven't touched yet, but I'm going to. So, they're both open world games, and I'm very much looking forward to playing both of them.
Yeah,
you just deleted it again. You are deleting the show notes, my friend.
I didn't even. Oh man, I don't even know where. Oh, you got it back.
I got it back.
Okay. All right. So
go ahead and tell us about this one while I cough.
You cough away. This one comes out a bit from a live stream I did earlier this week where I creeped everyone in my chat out by playing Metal Gear Solid 5. And word of warning, it will be coming back next week. Matt Mikkelsen, the lead baddie in Death Stranding, which is Kojima's new baby, basically said no one gets it, which is kind of true. Apparently, Kojima tried to explain. He said at Saudi Comic Con that Kojima tried to explain the game to him, and he doesn't even understand the plot, which is pretty much Kojima in a nutshell. Which makes me more excited for Death Stranding. I can't wait to try and get my head around this thing because, that's Kojima. But when one of your lead stars doesn't get the game, that says something about where he's going with it. Someone has said it that it's kind of a cross between PT in that kind of region with the inspirations of the Metal Gear saga and things like that. So that really is quite an interesting thought. But Death Stranding is reportedly coming out this year, so that is the game that's going to be high on my radar going through this year. But like I say, when one of your own lead stars doesn't get the plot, that says something.
Well, I mean, a lot of times they just come in and they read the lines, and they probably don't read them in order. So I can get why they might not understand the plot, especially if nobody's sitting there explaining it to them.
No, Kojima explained it to him.
Oh, okay. Well,
Kojima's told him the plot of the game, and even Matt Mikkelsen doesn't understand it. So
weird.
But that is Kojima. That's Kojima all over. That's just how he is. And that's kind of the way his games work.
All right. Well, that's it for the lightning round. Last week we did a. Wait, did I copy the wrong thing again? What was our games last week? It was a Diablo 3 and Metal Gear Solid 5? I don't think so.
No.
I copied the wrong poll into here. I don't know who won. I don't even remember what games we picked. All right. Well, dang it. We'll just say you won.
Where's Asset when you need her? Because Asset Asset found the link from last week.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
not
try and dig
sure.
up the link while you're explaining what yours is. I'll try and dig up the link.
All right, so mine this week. It's funny. I'm surprised. I was honestly surprised that you had played it, but it is Advance Wars Dual Strike for the DS, Nintendo DS. And if you got a 3DS, you can play this as well. This is basically a top-down strategy game where you are moving your characters around and fighting in a strategic way. It's got touchscreen controls, and the characters are a little cartoonish and ridiculous, but the game is very, very fun, and it makes you think about every single move that you're going to make. And a lot of people absolutely love this along with Fire Emblem. And if you're a fan of Fire Emblem, then you definitely want to check out Advance Wars Dual Strike. So that is mine for this week. And I forgot to explain what we were doing. I'll tell you, this cold has got my brain like cooked. Every week, Zap and I talk about one game that we think everybody should play. And this week, mine is Advance Wars Dual Strike. Check it out for the Nintendo DS. Great, great game. What do you got for us, Zap?
Well, Snow found out the link from last week, and it was Bastion versus Shovel Knight, and Bastion won.
I don't remember which one I picked because I love both of those games.
Yeah, well, there we go. My week, this one, I have done. Again, this is my Kojima fanboy coming out. I haven't done this one. I've done a Metal Gear before, but I haven't done what made me love the Metal Gear series, and that is Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, the first Sony PlayStation iteration of Metal Gear Solid. This was incredible. Just an unbelievable game where the stealth genre at the time on the PlayStation wasn't really, there wasn't really a stealth genre, and they came out and did it. The boss battles were just wacky. The story was incredible. Twin Snakes. This came out for the GameCube as well, with the first one and Sons of Liberty as a full package. And yeah, this is such a great game, and it sticks with me now. And there are bits of it where I caught a stream earlier today where I was trying to fix some issues with the computer, and he was playing through the first Metal Gear on the PlayStation, and smiled across my face because the story is just brilliant. So if you have never played this game, seriously, don't worry, chat, who was in my stream the other night when we did Metal Gear Solid 5. This is not messed up. This will not make you want to rock yourself in a corner for 3 weeks. This is just incredible. So there you go. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes is mine.
All right, cool. So those are the two games for Game Off this week. Right now, there is a poll available. You can click. You can vote. If you're listening to this later, both Zap and I will tweet out the poll later on. I said that last week and I forgot to anyway.
Yeah, so did I. I'm going to do it now while you're telling us our outfit.
All right, so the next topic, the final topic for the day is wish listed. This is where Zap and I both say a game that we've put on our wish list because it's something that we saw and we are excited about. For me, this week, it seems like Advance Wars is back, but it is actually called Wargroove for the Nintendo Switch. And it looks like somebody, Chucklefish is the name of the game, or the game company. They were definitely inspired by Advance Wars, and they've taken Advance Wars and moved it into a medieval setting, and it looks fantastic. It's got 4-player local and online play, and it also has like a level editor, so you can build like this cool world, and then load you and your friends into it, and then fight. And it just seems like a really great game. I love the art style, very throwback. This thing is gonna run on the Switch for 6 hours. It's not too taxing, but it's got the style that I really like. And So that's Wargroove, and I definitely am going to be buying this game when it comes out for the Switch. What is your game for the wish list this week, Zap?
My game probably won't be coming to the Switch, but it won't be, but might not be. Is when I can get the link. Links are not working. That's because I put a hashtag at the end of the link.
I'll put it in the. It's in the chat.
Failing at computers. It's the new Middle Earth Shadow. It's the new Middle Earth Shadow of War, which is the sequel to Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor. I've played probably about 20 to 30% of Mordor, and I'm going to go back to it because it has such a system, which made the open world system bearable and fun. The problem with me with open world, I kind of get halfway through it and then get distracted by something else because I'm getting bored of the open world. But this had the system where you could kill the chiefs of the tribes, and then they would move up if you didn't win, and the combat was great. It's like they took Batman and they got the Lord of the Rings and they kind of put it together and they had a baby, and Mordor was what it spat out. And this looks incredible. It was leaked. This is why we're hearing about it now. It wasn't supposed to be announced until later in the year. I think they were going for one of the big conventions, but it was leaked. So Warner Brothers basically went, "Yeah, it's coming. Here you go. Let's go." The Nemesis system is what I was talking about. So yeah, that's on my wish list. Apparently they're forging a new ring or something.
No. I think didn't the first one took place before Lord of the Rings? So
yes, it did.
So I'm sure that this one is still before Lord of the Rings as well.
Yeah. So apparently you get to fight some serious bad demons and stuff like that. So this looks incredible, really, really good. So yeah, can't wait for this. Give me now.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey man, it was a good show. That's it for the show this week. If you want to support the show, the number one way that you can do that is go over to iTunes or Google Play or Pocket Casts or wherever it is that you get your podcasts, and give us a review on iTunes. 1 star, 5 stars, whatever it is. We will appreciate it, and we might even read it on show. If you want to send us an email, tell us your thoughts, how much you think is a good price for this Xbox Netflix style thing, do that by sending us an email at runjumpstomp@gmail.com. Or if you want to give us a call and leave us a voicemail, you can do so by dialing 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at RunJumpStomp. And where is it that people can track you down, Zap?
Twitter and Twitch is at DJ Zap, at YouTube is at Django Zap. All
right, that's it for us today. We will see you guys next time. The music is going to break as it always does. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dang it!